Eagle looking great. Your go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Sci-Fi Wise Guys. My name is Chris.
And my name is Anthony.
What up, big dog?
Oh, you know, living the dream. It's warm.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm trying to break my consecutive streak of sleeveless shirts from 2021. I don't know if you remember, but when we were recording back in 21, which was at that point the hottest month it had ever been since I'd owned a home, my air conditioner wasn't really working that well. I didn't wear sleeves almost at all on pretty much any of our pods. Yeah. So this is week 7. No sleeves.
Week 7.
Yeah.
No, you didn't wear sleeves in Vegas?
No, just on the pod. Just on the pod.
Oh, just on the pod.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like in general.
No.
I was like,
no,
all right.
No, I knew a guy. I think I might have told the story. His name was Noe, and he never wore sleeves in high school, so we used to call him No Sleeves Noe.
That was allowed?
I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
But he worked out, but he only worked out his biceps. So he had really, really nice buys. Sure. But he just never wore any sleeves. So I wasn't hating.
I did the same thing my senior year. Yeah. Worked out my biceps. Did not work out my triceps. Did some crunches and some running. Other than that, all bicep. All just curls. Just curls.
Yeah, you curls
a day.
Curls for the girls, flies for the guys.
Get those shirts that were just like a little tight right there on the sleeve. Yeah.
That's what my Willy's Wonderland shirt does. Is it catches?
Oh yeah. That's an interestingly fit shirt, like the way or cut. I don't know what you call. It's interesting.
So
it's a good shirt though. Should have wore it.
You know what's a good shirt?
What?
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Do you own a Ninja Turtle shirt that you're wearing right now?
I wear that green tank all the time for the pod. You just only ever see it from this part.
Oh, so I never see that it's turtles.
Yeah, so you never see.
I have one turtle shirt, but it's long sleeve.
I
think also technically pajamas, but I wear it. It doesn't. That doesn't stop me. But no, it's long sleeve. And I was like, oh, I'll wear this, and then I close the door of my office, and it gets warm. And,
if you want to be technical, any kind of clothes can be pajamas. But
this one came in a set, you know.
With matching pajama pants.
Bottoms. Yeah, that whole bit.
Fair enough.
Look, man, are we moving releases to Tuesdays?
No.
Oh, okay. I was down.
I was ready to record yesterday, but we can move releases to Tuesdays.
Sundays
That's
have
fine
become very bad for me. Sundays have become very bad for me.
That's fine. We can release on Tuesday.
It's not a. I'm going to get a little housekeeping out of the way. It's not necessarily because of scheduling. It's just energy level and what I can bring. If we record on Sunday morning, that is a boring podcast. That's me going, yeah, I liked the redesigns. Yeah, they were pretty good.
Fair.
Yeah, it was a fun experience. We'll see. We'll see. I think we'll get back on our recording a week ahead of time, and Monday will be fine. Okay. Although I have recently streamlined my editing process and cut out a bunch of time, so we'll be able to get this stuff going.
All right.
So do you know what month it is?
It is the 8th month of the year 2023 of Someone's Lord. It is the 39th and a half year anniversary of the Ninja Turtles franchise.
And I'm not gonna get real. We're not gonna get real accurate on what that half means. It's approximately 39 and a half years since March of 1984. And so we're celebrating Ninja Turtles month. They made it easy to celebrate because they released a new movie for the first time in, I think 2009 was the last. Oh no, I just completely erased the Michael Bay movies from my
animated. These are the last animated ones released.
The last animated one. Yeah, 2009. Yeah,
Recovery.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mutant Mayhem released this past week. I think it was supposed to release on the 4th, and then it released 2 days early. I see on this poster it also says August 2nd, so I'm not sure. My notes definitely said the 4th for most of it. This is a cool poster. I don't remember them using skateboards the entire movie.
That's correct.
So this is definitely...
I only saw one person skateboarding.
It was not the Turtles.
Yeah, well, I take that back. I saw one mutant skateboarding. Let me rephrase the statement.
Who, Paul Rudd?
Sure, if that's who that's who the voice actor was. Introducing
that was Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd has joined the Turtleverse. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. Let's get some facts out of the way, and then let's talk about the movie. Maybe we can talk about the Turtles in general. For the month, we are going to be hitting up some other Turtle properties, including the original live action movie, right up next. So we'll have plenty of time to talk about the Turtles throughout the month. But let's knock out some facts first. This movie.
Well, hold on. Here on the Sci-Fi Wise Guys, we watch and review science fiction and science fiction adjacent movies, television shows, and apparently animated films.
Yes,
that
you
released
forgot
to theater.
To introduce us. This was on you.
We went. That open Marin just went on for a little longer than I thought it would. Sure. I said Turtles, and then you were like, "Do you want to start releasing on Tuesdays?" And
yeah.
So
you skipped the small talk, so I was trying to bring it back.
I was making the small talk, and then look, year 4. Still trying to figure out how to do a podcast.
This film follows the Turtle brothers as they work to earn the love of New York City while facing down an army of mutants. This is actually the highest rated Ninja Turtles movie on IMDb at a 7.6. And I didn't check all the movies because I forgot about the Michael Bay ones, but I feel pretty confident in what I just said.
Fair.
It's sitting at an unweighted mean of 7.4. So our median is in there 7.8. Pretty looking like not quite like an ET, but it's 29% of the ratings at an 8. 20% at a 7, 16.5 at 10, 14 at 9, and then a spattering of things 6 and below. Over on our least favorite movie aggregate score website, if that's did I use those words in the right order? It's got a 96% on the tomato meter, certified fresh, and a 92% audience score. Critics' consensus, with its unique visual style and a story that captures the franchise's appeal, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is an animated treat for the whole family. And then Metacritic, 74 generally favorable reviews based on 46 critic reviews, and a user score of 5.0 based on 88 reviews.
91% of Google users like this movie.
Yeah, sure. And then over on Letterboxd, sitting at a 3.8. So what is that? 7.6? Yeah, so right around the same as IMDb or Metacritic. A little bit of a better blurb here. After years of being sheltered from the human world, the Turtle brothers set out to win the hearts of New Yorkers and be accepted as normal teenagers through heroic acts. Their new friend, April O'Neil, helps them take on a mysterious crime syndicate, but they soon get in over their heads when an army of mutants is unleashed upon them.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Accurate blurbs really all the way around.
Yeah. Good stuff. I'm going to introduce a new segment later. Prepare yourself.
All right.
Chris.
Fair enough. What's up, my dude?
What did you think of this movie? What were your initial opinions, thoughts, feelings?
So let's turn back the clock to an unspecified day, either last year or early this year, when this movie was announced. And if I remember right, like the promotional art was released first, and I was like, man, like I don't know. Like I don't know if like I dig what they're trying to do here. And the trailer, I was like, meh. Not that I didn't have any faith in Seth Rogen's producing, or I don't even know who the directors are. Like, well, let me pull back up here. Jeff Rowe, I don't know who that is. Kyler Spears, no idea. Not familiar with their work really. Looks like Disenchantment, Gravity Falls. Oh no, that's writer, director. 2 credits.
Mitchells versus the Machines and Turtles.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. And then Kyler Spears as a director. Amphibia, the TV series. I don't know what that is. Looks like another animated.
Lots of animated.
Yeah,
he's been in the art department for several things. Looks like they've teamed up before in different roles. So,
which is cool. I'm not hating. And I remember hearing about all the collaborators, Ice Cube, the aforementioned Paul Rudd, a couple others. And I was just it's not that I was nervous for the movie. I think I was really nervous for what I was going to think of the art in general, not just the art style. I do have to say, I watched it on Saturday afternoon, 2:20 at one of our local movie theaters. And I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. There was definitely a lot of nostalgia, which was cool. They introduced, I don't want to say new stuff, maybe like a new perspective. I don't know how well this movie is going to age. There's a lot of like Gen Z stuff in it, which not saying anything bad about Gen Z. Zoomers, okay, put your phones down. It's cool. I'm down. There's just like a lot of
you are, boomer.
There's just a lot of references. Like, I mean, it's the same thing with the other movies, like especially the first Ninja Turtles movie, like the Domino's delivery thing. Like I don't think that exists anymore.
Sure.
But we'll talk about the art direction later, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
But overall, I had a really fun time. I laughed a lot. I saw it with our mutual friend Kel. There were a lot of kids in the theater, which is cool because for a movie based on a comic book that, from what I remember correctly, was an extremely violent comic book.
Oh yeah.
This has somehow become a young adult / kids franchise, which again is cool because those kids have to have parents.
Okay.
Someone's got to take them to the movies. And so, like, I think that if you like the Turtles, I think you'll really enjoy this movie. If you're able to look at it objectively, I don't necessarily think a lot of people would say that, judging by some of the 1-star reviews I saw you looking at earlier. But I think overall, I had a lot of fun. I really liked it. How about you? What are your initial thoughts and opinions?
I loved it. Full stop. I love the Turtles. I like almost every interpretation of the Turtles, with like 1.5 exceptions. Obviously I grew up watching the 80s, 90s cartoon. I remember watching the next cartoon when it came out like every morning on Saturday in 2003. And as an adult in my late 20s, the cartoon after that, the CGI one, buying the DVDs because I didn't have cable so I could watch Turtles. Recently I've talked about it on the pod. I had not a heart attack. I did not have a heart attack. However, I still went to the ER just in case. And when I got home after 7 hours in the ER, the first thing I did was put in the Ninja Turtles movie, 1987 or whatever, and watched most of it before falling asleep. So I love the Turtles. I love pretty much every interpretation of them. And this interpretation, Seth Rogen, Evan, I always want to say Evan
Goldberg and
Jeff Rowe, who also directed. This interpretation of it is fantastic. I think it's super unique while not really changing who the characters are. You talked about some of the slang and the quote unquote Gen Z-ness of it, but
they're teenagers.
They're 15-year-olds, right? Like literally, I think the first descriptive word in the title is teenage. Yeah. And this might be, as far as the movies are concerned, this is the first one where they feel like teenager. Like, even in the original ones, like they're goofy, but they're huge, bulky. I mean, they're not tall, but they're bulky and built, and they can go do whatever. And they're a little emotionally immature, but they're not really of the world, if that makes sense. And they get a little more.
I think
not typecast, but they get more flanderized as those movies went on. But
in the first one, I feel like it's not that so much that they're of the world, but they are like very like they actively go out into the world and do good.
Sure.
In the first movie. In this one, they do not. Like, it seems like they are far more, like, not necessarily exposed, but I don't I don't see them as teenagers in the first movie, like, at all. Like, they're probably in their, like, for me, it would be their early early to mid 20s.
Right.
Like,
and they're supposed to be 15, 16 years old. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yep.
So no, really, really liked it. I don't know where to start with talking about it. I think it's really, really cool that they got actual teenage kids to voice them. instead of just adult voice actors. I think that adds something to it for sure. The voices matched the face. The performances were great. The art style, like I've seen like one trailer and I'd seen still shots of the art style, but seeing it in motion in the movie, like the kind of hand drawnness of the hand drawn look to it, I guess, it caught me off guard, and I liked it pretty much right away. Like we're in Baxter Stockman's spoilers for the first 2 minutes of the movie. We're in Baxter Stockman's lab, and I'm like, oh, cool! Like the squirrely bits on the wall. When there's an explosion, it's like somebody drew over it. Just took a pencil and scribbled. It looks really, really cool. I don't know if that takes more or less effort when it comes to the computer generated art, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea. Like if this was all hand drawn, in the traditional 2D sense, maybe that takes less effort and it's a quick thing, but I don't know. I have no idea. I know more recently, the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or whatever it was, Across the Spider-Verse.
Upon the Spider-Verse.
What is it?
I don't know. I said upon. Upon the Spider-Verse Strikes Back, whatever it's called.
Yeah, the Return of the Spider-Verse. I know that took a lot of time because of how much the animation changes throughout and all the different styles and whatnot. This is more consistent. So I'd be very interested in learning what that process was like, especially since they've pretty much, they've set us up for a sequel for sure.
One of the things that I really... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. That was the art style, the voice acting, the music choice, especially the licensed music, really, really good. I like that we got 5 seconds of Vanilla Ice. That was fantastic. The story and plot, good. It's fine, right? It's more about the characters than it is the actual plot of fighting the villain, right? Even in the original one, it's, Shredder's cool. He's got all the blades and blah, blah, blah. But it's really about the turtles overcoming, and here's this guy that hurt our family and blah, blah, blah. It's kind of a revenge plot when you think about it. But this one's not quite a revenge plot, but still, it does the characters well. So what did you think about the construction thereof?
When it came to the animation, our friend Kel, I think the metaphor wasn't spot on, but I really liked where he was going. He said, he's like, yeah, man, it really reminded me of Borderlands. The problem is the Borderlands, while not cell shaded, gives a lot of people the impression of cell shaded, but it is highly stylized, and the asymmetrical look of a lot of the human characters was really interesting. I don't like what's her face, the evil doctor lady,
Cynthia Utrop.
Yeah, she's so all the humans, including April O'Neil, all look weird, and I wonder if that's an artistic choice. The mutants are all they look freaky or whatever, sure, but for the most part they're all symmetrical, in terms of their face. They don't their jaw, the right side of their jaw isn't here and then the left side of their jaw is in here. They're not abstract. I think he said Picasso meets Borderlands, I think was the word he used, or the metaphor he used.
Yeah, it's not I don't feel like it's 100% accurate, but it's in the ballpark for sure. Yeah,
all the one of the things I thought was really cool was the lighting effects. Whenever they showed light, instead of it just broadcasting the light, sure, it was there with the shadows.
It was illuminated, but
there was a scene where there was something was on the ground flashing, and it had it was doing this. Instead of instead of broadcasting light, it was a bunch of arcs alternating on different angles. I thought that was very neat. A big moment in this film is when they're doing the shakedown, and they're shaking down all those gangsters, and it's all the choreography is the same for all of the turtles. They I don't know who the first one is, but they break into some pool hall or something, and I think it's Leo in the front, and then he starts fighting, and then it switches perspective to another turtle, but he's doing the exact same fight choreography, and while they're rotating the quote unquote camera, and the scenes, the locations change around them, the thugs change around them, everything. And it's just one I wouldn't say continuous, but it's one sequence that just keeps moving while the camera is moving around them, while everything changes. I thought it was really freaking cool.
Oh yeah.
The the music. I don't know some of those songs, but that's okay. It's it is what it is. Things change, but in terms of how the sound design was really neat, the voice acting was really interesting. Some of these people are adults. I don't know who they are. I think Rose Byrne. I think I know who that is. She was in a Neighbors, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she was in Neighbors and Bridesmaids. Yeah, I know who she is. But I thought all the voice actors were great. He's talking about the plot being really not that important. I felt like I was sitting. I was rewound back in time to 1991, and I'm sitting on the floor in the townhouse in the Philippines on the floor watching an episode of the animated cartoon show or the animated turtle cartoon. Just the weird, wacky, so this villain is stealing a bunch of these crazy top secret parts and he's going to build a machine that's going to turn every animal into a mutant. Cool. That's it. I feel like that's exactly what would happen in that show. Overall, I liked everything about it. Yeah. I really did. It may not have been enough Raph.
Sure. I felt like they were pretty equal in all the turtles.
I just, it's a little.
They all had growth. They all contributed.
I just wanted to be able to come on this podcast and say it's a little too Raph.
That might be the best scene in any Turtles movie. Yeah, a little too Raph.
Yeah.
I did you mentioned the fighting scene. That's when No Diggity plays. Love that whole bit. Really, really good. I think that's also right before that, or maybe the fight scene right before that's where we get a little bit of Vanilla Ice. But my favorite, I don't know, visual gag or bit or whatever in the movie is when they're making their plan about how they're going to, defeat Superfly, whoever that is, and win the hearts and minds of New York so that they don't have to live in the sewers for the rest of their life. It's all hand drawn, they're drawing out the plan, and their their drawn versions of themselves look like what I would draw as a kid drawing the original 1984 cartoon. Yeah. Just this weird kind of parentheses with the shape on top. It was really, really funny with the shape on top, the little shape.
Why did we have to find the one fruit that shaped exactly like my head?
Donatello asking more than once, why do I just have a stick? Was pretty good. And then the stick being clutch in one scene, oh, we need this. It was pretty good.
He's using my stick against me.
I don't know, man. I love the redesigned Turtles. I really like any incarnation of them where they don't just look the same with different colored headbands. I'm a big fan of different shades of green, different sizes, that type of thing. Muy bueno. Love it. You talk about some of the slang and stuff, maybe not, I don't know, lasting, but not aging well.
Well, I mean, it's just period pieces, right?
Sure.
Movies that are designed for a specific time frame. I don't know if you consider them ageless or not, but movies that aren't like that when they Die Hard, the original Die Hard from 19 whatever. That movie doesn't work in 2023.
Because of cell phones?
Yeah, because someone just whips out a cell phone and it's hey man, there's these guys here, and they're
there's a throwaway plot line about how they opened up a cell phone jammer before they did it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
I find that's for a while there, and it's still not. It isn't as big, but horror movies and action films coming up with ways to write off cell phones. Oh, there's no service out here. No. Oh, there's a storm, so there's no service. I'm like, man, this is getting less and less realistic. Oh, I don't know, man. I think that the movie's made for teenagers. It should appeal to teenagers.
Yeah.
And then people who grew up in this version of the Turtles and the current Nickelodeon cartoons or whatever will still watch this forever, just like I watched the one from the 80s forever, Yeah.
I
think it's perfectly fine. And really, between this movie and the Barbie movie, which I also saw last week. The Barbie movie is the only one that had slang that I didn't understand right away. I had to figure it out through context clues. And that's definitely not made for teenage boys, so I have no idea.
God, that was such a good movie.
It's really good.
Damn.
We can we got Ninja Turtle month. We can't talk about Barbie.
For a couple hours there, I was just really into Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. The Godfather.
Anyways, was moving past it. Do you think so? Do you know who the Utroms are?
No.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with their work.
No. Okay. You know Krang.
Yeah.
The little brain guy, right? So in the comics, and then later in one of the cartoon series, at least the 2003 one, maybe the other one as well. You have the Utroms, which look like Krang. They're little brain blobby things, right? Krang's based on them. And in this movie, the villain, the head of TCRI, her last name is Utrom. So I don't know if that's supposed to be telling that she's an alien or they're just putting in a reference. I'm not sure.
Wasn't there some confusion about the Krang? Because, like, I remember, like, when I was a little kid watching the cartoon, I was like, okay, cool, Krang's the brain. But I remember, like, there was a comic book where there was a whole bunch of, like, the bodies, and they called them Krangs.
I think in the 2000, one of the newer cartoons called them all Krangs instead of Utroms or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just to make it. Oh, I mean, they're all their own continuity. Who gives a crap? Like the scientist in Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, was originally an Utrom. Was originally supposed to be one of those aliens, and then they nixed it because they thought it'd be too confusing,
too high level.
Krang. Yeah. Well, I mean, and also, Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman fought for Bebop and Rocksteady to not be in that movie because they hated him so much. But that's a whole other thing. I was
actually when we were walking out of the theater, Kel was like, "Man, that was really fun." He's like, "Was it weird that like Bebop had turtle shells on for his pauldrons?" And I was like, "You know, it was really weird the fact that Tokar and Razor weren't there, Kel. That's what I thought was really weird."
Babies. It's interesting. I don't know, man. The rights for the original cartoon are all weird. Like the licensing for different products and different things. So it's cool they even got Bebop and Rocksteady. And it obviously designs that pay homage to the 80s cartoon. It's pretty good. I was not expecting the Fly Mutant to not be Baxter Stockman. I think but it makes more sense. I like the origin story of it.
Well, it's like what's interesting about him is he had Baxter Stockman's hair.
Yeah.
So
he probably used some of his own DNA and when trying to build the mutagen or create the mutagen. Sure, why not? Right? Yeah.
What happened to Baxter Stockman?
Dude, who knows, man? It's been 15 years. In the next movie, they'll find him in a lab somewhere making mousers. I don't know, man. I don't know what you do with him at this point.
Mousers.
Why the heck not, man?
When in the cartoon when they're fighting those mousers or whatever, and Raphael gets the head and he's like bouncing it off his arm.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing that as a little kid. And I was like, that's the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. And so I just learned how to do it watching Ninja Turtles.
Nice.
So I do that now.
Oh yeah. Would you have a mouser head that you just kind of bounce?
No, just any kind of ball.
Okay.
Especially with like a softball or like a small kickball or something. I'm just like, bloop, bloop. It's fun.
I like, they kept teasing us with the turtle van and then not following through. Like they drive more than one van that gets utterly destroyed. It is definitely not the turtle van. The second one even had similar colors to the old turtle van and then got utterly destroyed.
Did you have the turtle van when you were a little kid?
I did not have the turtle van. No, I had I had like a monster truck that Bebop or Rocksteady drove, or maybe both, but I didn't have the turtle. I wasn't, man, my little brother was breaking stuff. I wouldn't have been able to keep that van anyways.
When I lived in Houston for a little bit, my neighbor John had the turtle van. I had a Leonardo that would flip.
Oh,
you would put him down and like
I had one of those.
Kind of like cuff him in half or whatever, and then let go, and he would backflip.
I don't remember which turtle it was, but I did have those, and I had two of them that were turtles, and then you like just like normal looking turtles, and then you like pop them open and like a transformer, transform them into the like.
I remember those.
Yeah, those were really cool. I remember I had a couple of those.
I had Michelangelo in the samurai outfit.
Oh, like from Turtles 3, the movie, or
Well, I think it's from it was like the cartoon.
one of the cartoon ones.
Ninja Turtles.
That, and then I had a bunch of the off-brand GI Joes.
Oh, the core.
Yeah, the cores, the hard cores or whatever, and those were, of course, different types of foot soldiers. So I didn't actually have a foot soldiers. I think recently I saw, because like I hate it so much. The toys of our childhood being repackaged and sold to us at 7 times the price, but at the same quality.
Maybe,
but I actually saw it was like a set of like 5 foot soldiers or something like that with different weapons and stuff. And it was like, yeah, that's what you needed as a kid because you need you need the turtles and then you need a bunch of foot soldiers.
Maybe it was just Leo.
Oh, that's a cool looking samurai turtle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, worth the price of subscription. If y'all are listening to this, go watch this movie in the theater.
Worth the price of admission.
Admission, I guess.
At this
point.
I
have a movie subscription.
I see.
Not Movie Pass, but whatever the Cinemark one is.
Movie Club.
Movie Club, yeah, something like that. So, I mean, both.
Yeah.
Both. Worth the price of a large popcorn.
Yeah. No, I would totally recommend this film.
I might see it again.
For a variety of reasons. Like, we didn't even really talk about, like, I think the most interesting change was the fact that Splinter is just a rat. Like, he's not, he wasn't the pet of a ninja master.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Yoshi.
Like in the original and like the comics, yeah.
Yeah. He's just a rat. And the way he taught them ninjutsu is YouTube tutorials, which is like probably like the funniest thing that I think I've seen, like
VHS tapes
in a long time. Yeah,
it was
just
really good.
Like, hey, man, these are the top 10 ninjutsu tricks right here, bro.
Well, then they just practiced them over and over again, right?
Yeah.
It's it makes sense. I don't know. I guess that's the biggest origin change is him not being related to the Shredder in any way through Yamato Yoshi or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he might be like in the sequel. We might find out something crazy about it or whatever.
It might flip around. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting if they do a sequel. I feel like this movie was written. I mean, spoilers. If y'all are still listening, I'm just going to keep spoiling things from here on out. We have the mid-credit scene where they show the Shredder and he's going to come to the city or whatever. He's being hired to do a job. But by the end of the movie, all the other mutants are living with them in the sewers. Yeah. Maybe temporarily, maybe permanently. And Master Splinter is dating the cockroach mutant blob thing. And it's it's weird. Like, I just don't know how, like, and they're out and the turtles are going to high school because they're accepted by society, even though they still live in a sewer, which means, yeah, I don't know how that.
How does Child Protective Services get involved?
Yeah,
really?
At what
like,
point?
Do they have social security numbers? Like,
they have to. I mean, they're natural born citizens, right? So they have to.
Are they?
They were born in America.
Were they?
Yeah, because they were baby turtle. I mean, I don't know. I assume.
I don't know. There's a lot of hand waving.
Are you saying that if the Dream Act went away, it impacted them?
No, I'm like, I mean, what if they're Canadian? You don't know.
What if they're Canadian?
Where's Venus?
Oh, first of all, shut up. Venus is the worst.
Where's that robot turtle? What's his name?
Oh, that'll show up eventually.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
No, I think the choice to have all the mutants like live together was because one thing about this movie that I think that really will appeal to a lot of teenagers, and I mean people in general, is just like the desire for acceptance. You know what I mean? Yes. That's the whole point, is that they're still like, they are kids. They're quote unquote freaks. Mm-hmm. And no, that's what I'm saying. Like, people see them as quote unquote freaks. And I think a lot of people feel that way. Like, yeah, the people that go to my school think I'm a freak because I want to be a news reporter or whatever. And so, like, making the movie about acceptance and finding the family that you want to have, like, you know, not the family you're born with, but the family that you make, I think is a really good message. I actually kind of dig the idea that, like, Bebop and Rocksteady aren't villains, right? Because they don't really need to be. Like, maybe the Shredder hires them and that's how they become villains, and maybe that's like an added layer. to the rest of the next movie, which is like, well, we're friends, but we gotta make a living in our own special way or whatever. But
just because you're not down with destroying all of humanity doesn't mean you're a good person. Like there's like, I feel like there's lots of people who would just do terrible things or be criminals or whatever in everyday life that would be like, oh no, I'm not nuking people. Like there's lines, right?
Was that movie The Rocketeer? When the guy finds out that Sinclair's a Nazi and he's like, look, man, I may be a gangster, but I'm an American.
I thought that was a comic book thing, right? The Joker teams up with Red Skull or whatever.
Oh no, that happens too. Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, you're a Nazi? And then he just switches sides. Oh man.
Joker is all about freedom, chaotic freedom.
Chaotic freedom. He is chaotic neutral.
No, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Dude's evil as they come. Speaking of the Joker, one of the movies I think we're going to watch for Ninja Turtles month is Batman Meets Batman and the Ninja Turtles. I don't know what the movie's called.
Batman verse
Shredder, maybe?
Batman verse Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Do they actually fight?
We're watching that next.
Yeah,
I've actually never seen this.
Is this one of the ones when Jensen Ackles is Batman?
Ooh, I don't know. Let's find out.
No.
Nope, it's Troy Baker.
Troy Baker's Joker.
And Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Oh.
Yeah. It's Troy Baker. He voices everyone in the film. It's a one-man show called Batman versus
He's also the
Ninja Turtles.
He's also the king of Laserball.
Yes, he is.
That's neat.
So we'll be watching that for next week. Like I said, this is I haven't seen this at all. I just never got around to watching it for whatever reason. Maybe it was on a streaming service I just didn't have. I think it's not sure.
I think it's on Max. Shout out to HBO. You know, sure, you made a really weird business decision deciding to rename your streaming service to Max, but I gotta say, the app is 10 times better.
Is it really?
Oh my God, it's so good. The app is so much better than it used to be. Oh man. Like, I'm actually like, it's impressive how good it actually is. Like, it's not as good as Netflix or Disney Plus, but it's still pretty freaking good. Let's see, streaming. What is it on? It's $3.99 to rent it.
No, done. I'm looking forward to watching it. It's based on a comic miniseries, so maybe I'll try to track that down and give that a shot as well. Get a little extra perspective. Do you want? I told you to be prepared because I was going to drop a new segment on you. The further we're in, the less I want to actually drop the new segment.
Do it.
So I'm gonna offer you the option. I'm gonna give you the choice, Christopher. Do you want to look at some 1-star reviews?
Before you do that, before you do the 1-star reviews, wait, I'm going to offer you something.
Okay.
Do you want to name your idiot of the movie, or do you want to read your 1-star reviews first?
Oh, let's. I think my idiot of the movie might be some of these 1-star reviewers.
That's on you.
Sure, that's on me. No, I mean, idiot of the movie, probably anyone who bullies someone for having a nervous reaction while on camera.
I see.
And or possibly Cynthia Utrom for milking the turtles.
They're gonna milk you. I don't even have nipples. I've got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? My idiot of the movie is Thug number 6.
Thug number 6.
Who's the guy who stole April O'Neil's moped and camera. Because
he ruined everything.
Had he never done it,
he hadn't done his petty crime.
Superfly's dream would have come true, because they never would have fought that gang. April never would have found the research. She never would have found the stuff stolen there. Never would have. It's a house, it's house of cards.
You're right.
Who's your wise guy?
Master Splinter, obviously. Always.
He is wise. Not for that.
I like that he has a little bit of a character arc too.
Not for that fro.
The Jerry curl or whatever. I didn't mind the look. But it looked good.
My wise guy, I think, is Vondo Gecko, because he's the first mutant that really is like, I'm not really down with destroying humanity. Like, I'm just not.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't do this.
It's I'm a hench. I'm not a genocider. It's just, I'm just saying. Good points.
Fair enough. I'm I was on Twitter or whatever. I refuse to call it by anything else. And April O'Neil was trending.
Uh-oh.
And I like that look. Not that April O'Neil.
If you
the Turtles April O'Neil.
If you know, you know.
And for all of the reasons you think that she was trending, all of the negative ones, and I just got real upset. People who have a definitive version of a fictional character suck, and people who have definitive versions of fictional characters only when it comes to that character's appearance, ethnicity, race, skin tone, or all of the above, really, really suck. And I think I can leave it at that. I don't know if I need to get any more into it. It's
kind of dumb. It's really I think there's sometimes we discussed this on Cursed when I talked about someone that I know that was really upset that King Arthur was apparently a black man,
not white.
Yeah. But so we're about whenever we watch Batman versus Ninja Turtles, reminds me of when Liam Neeson played Ra's al Ghul, and it was no one really got upset about that, even though Ra's al Ghul's supposed. I don't even know where. I'm not deep enough on the Batman.wikia to know where, how, and when Ra's al Ghul is from. I assume he's from some part of the Middle East or Africa.
Well, the name Raish or Raz is Middle Eastern of some sort. It's Arabic or Jewish.
Sure. Who knows, right? No, but no one got upset about that. No one was burning Twitter down, complaining that a white man portrayed a not white character. So, the fact that people ever even get upset about it, really, if it's definitive to the character, maybe you could have an argument. If April O'Neil had to be a white brown-haired woman in a yellow jumpsuit for a very specific reason, to which I cannot identify that reason.
Nope.
Why would it ever need to be that and that only?
Right.
If the Ninja Turtles were frogs, maybe you could have an argument. But
sure, that's a good cut. It's if it's a big part of the character, but it's not. She's in the old live action movies and the 80s cartoons, she's just a reporter.
She's the least important part of the story. Who cares what she looks like?
Pretty much. And I think in the original comic, she was Baxter Stockman's lab assistant. She wasn't a reporter at all. But at that point, her race doesn't matter then either. It doesn't do anything for the character. So adding a little bit of variety doesn't mean anything.
Do they know that Clark Kent isn't played by a Kryptonian?
I know you're trying to besmirch Henry Cavill right now, but I'm going to need you to just calm down and focus.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Focus. Apologies. No, it's a bit annoying. It's dumb to get upset about. It's also dumb to think that there's an agenda behind it. A lot of the stuff I've read and a lot of the reviews that mention that type of thing are, oh, this is the I don't know, liberal agenda. Look what they're doing for no reason, changing this character. And look, man, the old April O'Neil still exists. If you want to go ogle a cartoon character, go for it. No one's stopping you. You could just type in the internet. You can go to Bing and don't even use in private or incognito. Just go raw on Bing. Just type in April O'Neil and search the pictures until you find the ones you want.
Print them out.
Hang
them on your wall.
If you can't figure out how to work your printer, that's okay. I'm sure your Gen Z neighbor can help you out. You got it. All right. We're not going to deep dive these 1-star reviews, but mostly because they're boring and
they're always the same. They're always the same thing.
Let's look at this one. This is I'm going to just scroll a little bit so we can't see the username. Let's see. This is on IMDb. Let me pop this up on the screen. Here we go. The first. So this is fitting all on one. There we go. This is fitting basically top to bottom on my screen here. It doesn't actually talk about the movie for the first like third of it here. It talks about how they didn't like the movie theater. Movies have previews, maybe 25 minutes. This movie started at 2. We were there at 1 something. Got into the theater at 2:02. The movie had already started. So before we even sat down, we were off to a bad start. Then it is like 94 outside. The theater was so hot. The movie, if it started at 2, then we missed 2 minutes, but it felt like we had missed an hour. Okay. Then he started talking about the movie a little bit. Why it was important for him to mention the uncomfortable, like how this impacted the movie, I have no idea. There were people standing and talking nonstop, which tells me I'm not the only one that did not like it. No, it sounds like you had a bad movie going experience. And then
so you're talking about people in the theater were standing.
People in the theater, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, maybe you should talk to these usher or just the people who work at the movie theater.
The music was not that good. I could not understand what many of the characters said. That I don't know who this person is, but it sounds like they need hearing aids.
No.
Possibly need to get something checked out because they're hearing muffled noises coming from people's voices. If people are standing up and talking in the theater, yell at them, shame them publicly, get them kicked out, or at least the very least get your money back and go see it again. When one of the turtles says the name of a talk show lady named Wendy W, I started to think the movie was made for a different audience. I don't even understand what that is. Do you get it?
So Wendy Williams is she used, I think her show's over now, but she used to have a TV show, like a talk show or whatever. She's very controversial. But I think the reason why they probably reference her is because she's really big in New York.
Yeah.
I think the Wendy Williams show, I think is filmed in NY. So so
she's just
broadcast live in front of a studio audience at Chelsea Studios in New York City from Mondays through Thursday. Yeah,
so she's famous, but then she's more like she's also locally famous, perhaps in New York City. All right, whatever. Complains about the voice of April. Also, there was a scene in which a character gets sick. It went on way too long, and they misspelled the word "too." I could have watched that scene for another few minutes.
Oh, she throws up. Yeah.
Thought it was hilarious.
Well, she's describing a traumatic event. Yeah. Everyone gasses up what happens to him. Like, know?
No, man. When she got the remix on the YouTube with the where they replaced her puke with rainbows, I thought that was pretty good. I don't know. That's pretty high quality.
I went viral.
So I don't know. This review is very interesting because you left the movie after 40 minutes, which means you didn't see most of the movie. You didn't see the very beginning of the movie. The theater was uncomfortable, and you're blaming that on the movie. This is a bad review. This isn't just a one. I'm going to rate this review 1 out of 10 stars.
What an opening. So movies have previews. Okay.
Sure.
What are your criticisms of the actual movie? The music was not good. Okay, what part of the music wasn't good? Did you not enjoy the choices? Like was the issue the soundtrack was made for a quote unquote different audience? Well, look, I'm not going to judge this person. I don't know them. But I don't really feel like they're a teenager.
No. Well, I know they're not a teenager because their IMDb handle is a full name.
Oh, yeah.
So which is why I did not show it recorded on screen.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, this guy's outing themselves as an idiot. Oh, man. Have you read about, or did you see any of the 1-star reviewers out there talking about Splinter being gay?
No.
Apparently that was a criticism of the movie prior to it coming out, was that, they made Splinter gay.
Is he?
And so people were upset. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that he dates a woman at the end of the movie.
He's a rat.
Yeah, but he's also a rat.
Who
cares?
Gives a shit if he's gay? He's a rat. Leonardo has fallen in love with a human woman.
Yeah. Not for the first time, I'm sure.
Is that okay? I don't, the rat, I don't want the rat to have sex with other male rats. But if Leonardo, a turtle, a mutant turtle, we don't even know if they have genitalia. If
turtles do, but sure.
No, but them.
Oh, sure. They're mutants. Who knows, right?
If that turtle, in April, that's cool. That's cool, though. I'm cool with bestiality as long as it's straight bestiality.
I don't think it's bestiality if they're sentient. or sapient, but that's an argument for another podcast. All right, so we may or may not keep this segment. We might need to spice it up a little bit. Maybe we'll find my favorite 1-star review for Batman after watching Batman vs. TMNT after watching that. We'll see how far we can go.
So do you want
I think there's a subset
to find a 1-star review?
Oh yeah,
and then I read my favorite 1-star review.
Yeah, we can each have our favorite 1-star review, and it could be from anywhere. It could be from anywhere. That one just struck out to me because the reviewer was obviously an idiot. And I do like that subsect of people that I feel like are getting more and more boisterous, more and more loud, that just like to hate things. They just like to hate things. I don't understand it, but whatever. Look, if you have suggestions for things we should watch outside of Ninja Turtles month, or if you just saw this movie and you liked it, you hated it, maybe you're a 1-star reviewer and you want to argue your point, you can email us, scifiwiseguys@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on all the social medias. Well, most of the social medias at Sci-Fi Wise Guys. We're on the aforementioned Twitter, Instagram, Threads. I think we're on Threads.
I don't know.
We're on Threads.
Did you sign up for Blue Sky yet?
No, I did not sign up for Blue Sky. That's a lot of responsibility. If we're not on your preferred social media platform, let us know, I guess, by going into a different social media platform and messaging us there. You can DM us or just add us, whatever. It works. We really appreciate the suggestions. We appreciate the feedback. And if you are a 1-star reviewer, just be forewarned, we will make fun of you on air.
Stay healthy, stay hydrated, and don't be a bully or
Don't be a bully.
Destroy humanity.
Don't destroy humanity.
Yeah.
I like it. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Has landed.
This review that I'm reading, which you probably saw it, I feel like it was either written by an AI or someone who just is lying to me. It felt like the creators spent no time working on the film. Okay. Most of us were asleep 30 minutes into the film and felt like the film was meant for 5-year-olds. And then,
yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And then they typed it again.
Yeah, they typed it in.
Copy and pasted.
They copied and pasted it, then accidentally copied and pasted it twice. Yeah. At least they proofread it if they typed it in somewhere else, right? That's the idea. I'll give that review 2 out of 10 stars.